Well, the party is on. New York City is ready to ring in 2022 by bringing back the big New Year's Eve party in Times Square.
Mayor de Blasio announcing the crowds will once again be welcome at the crossroads of the world to watch the ball drop.
We are proud to announce the Times Square, wonderful celebration in Times Square, the ball drop, everything coming back full strength, the way we love it. Hundreds of thousands of people there to celebrate. We can finally get back together again. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a joy for this city.
So Tom Harris, the president of the Times Square Alliance, has a little over a month to plan the biggest party New York has ever seen, well, at least in the last year and a half. And he's joining us this morning to tell us how it's all about to go down. Good morning, Tom. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Hazel. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, this is a huge undertaking. So exactly how big is this party planning committee and who's on it?
We have been planning New Year's Eve for the last 13 months. We start planning for the following year before the New Year's Eve that we're in now. So we're excited to welcome revelers back into Times Square so that they could safely join the cast and crew as we put on a show for the world to watch.
I love it. I love it. So what kind of manpower are we talking about here to kind of pull this whole thing off, right?
So we're going to have staff of probably 50 or 60 people to mirror the NYPD checkpoints. As they screen people going in for safety reasons, we're going to have checkers who confirm vaccination status before we welcome them into the viewing areas in Times Square.
Right, so no vaccination, you're not allowed in.
That's correct. If you're able to get a vaccine, if you're 5 and over and able to get a vaccine, we're going to require a vaccination. If you're unable to get vaccinated because of a disability, we're going to require proof of a negative PCR test within 72 hours and ask that you wear a mask.
Yeah, so if anybody's going to go, they better go early if they're going to go through that process, obviously. So that being said, will there be a cap on the number of people allowed into Times Square to watch the ball drop?
So pre-pandemic, we've had hundreds of thousands of people in Times Square, and we are going to plan to have those hundreds of thousands of people back in Times Square this year. We recognize that everyone's not ready to stop dreaming and start doing again, but for those who are, we welcome them to Times Square, and we'll try to make sure you have a seamless entry process.
And so, you know, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here because this is really a celebration, and I am looking forward to the new year. Are there any concerns that this could be, say, like a super spreader kind of event? And walk me through what exactly that checkpoint will be, you know, because and is it going to be specific locations that those checkpoints are at?
Yes, more details will come, but to your original question, of course we are concerned, and that's why we are having a mandatory vaccination requirement. We have seen over the last months that professional ball teams have welcomed fans back in a congested setting. Broadway has welcomed people back with the mandatory vaccination, and we think that it's the way to go to require mandatory vaccination for the Times Square event for the revelers. You have to realize that there are about 12 live events that are broadcast around the world. So we have an obligation to the cast and the crew of those events, and also to the crowds. So that's why we're looking for the mandatory vaccination.
So now they know what to prepare for. Make sure you have your vaccine card or negative COVID test. But what about the performances? Who are you planning to have perform at this year's event?
So it's a little too early to tell. That's for another press release.
Give us something. Give us a nugget.
Nothing?
I can't. I actually can't because I don't think that they have been set yet. We're still working on performers, and the different networks have different performers that will be here in Times Square. So Tom, as soon as we have that information, we'll get it out to you.
We're out of time here. We're out of time. Have you ever thought of a porta potty? I mean, just something to allow people to relieve themselves while they're there.
Well, Dan, you were out of time. So the short answer is yes. There's just a lot of logistical challenges and safety concerns, and we haven't been able to make it work.
I get it. You know, I just like to throw a little sarcasm in there. People will be there.
Thank you.
Tom, thanks. Hey, Tom, come back when you get that press release, all right? We want to hear it first.
I will, of course.
All right.
Yeah, and if you need any hosts.
Yeah.
Dan over here.
We're available.
Oh, we want to volunteer for sure.
We will put you on the list.
As long as there's a porta potty.
All right, Tom.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Happy New Year,
Bye-bye.
almost.
Happy New Year.